Well, here I am out here in the hayfield behind a neighbor of ours' place over in Missouri. Scott's baling, I'm raking. He's running 1086 International with the 605F Vermeer, making 5 foot round bales. Just making cow hay, that's all we're doing. This stuff's brushy and nasty. Nobody's baled it for a few years. Trying to clean it up. The guy said we could have it if we cleaned it up. Maybe that'll be a deal that happens again in the future. No net wrap, just plastic string. Takes a little bit to get a bale wrap. We're using a H&S 10-wheel rake, except it's only an 8-wheel right now. This weeds and like if you get any blackberry briars or anything like that in it, plugs it up pretty bad. And we're raking with this 1494 case International, my dandy little tractor. Of course, I'm showing you all that. It's probably going to be backwards to you. No matter to me. As long as my shade don't break down, I'll be all good. There he goes a little closer. I was trying to figure up, I think we have baled about 800, 800, maybe 900 round bales so far this year. And it's the 14th of August. This stuff's getting really dry. Sage grass is starting to come on. We just want to clean it up. Maybe it'll be better for next year. There he comes around behind me. Now I get to rake out corners, and go on to the next field. So I'm gonna try to hold on to you and keep you with me through this. So tell you like I do Dakota when he rides with me, hang on tight because I'm scared. Maybe I caught some of the corner. Good looking bale of hay for a 40-year-old baler. When I was growing up, we did a lot of custom hay. My dad had a good paying job at a tire plant in Miami, Oklahoma, B.F. Goodrich, until they closed down. And in '85, he went to custom baling hay for a living. And I was a raker for a lot of that time. We finally quit doing hay for anybody else in 2000. But when we get into a deal like this, we call it the orchard. You have to bale the orchard. And you've never had any of the pleasures of baling in a orchard or in a pecan grove, but some of these fields have more twists and turns than a politician, I tell you what. But we made it. We're still making it. I wouldn't go back to doing that, not for the life of me. If I had to, I guess I could, but I really don't want to. But I wouldn't trade the experience we got there for nothing either. A lot of people get afraid to lay a bunch of hay down, afraid it'll get wet. Well, if it gets wet, it gets wet. That's beyond your control anyway. Oh, we're still recording? Says it is. Let's see if I can get a better handle on this thing. About to run out of a place to rake here. Well, maybe not. Never had this good of equipment when we was making hay for other people. We did use the same balers. We've actually retired one baler and bought one parts baler. We got two balers that'll go and two 1086s to pull them with. So that looks kind of neat when we're out baling. If we get a whole bunch of hay down, well, I'll get one of our either Dad or Dee to rake for me, or I'll rake until I get it all raked, and then I'll get on another baler and bale with him. I don't know what to do here either. This is how I used to do it. Set you on the fender and let you watch from there, but that gum, it's so bumpy, I'm afraid you wouldn't be able to see anything over there either. Some of this hay that we're turning up is a little bit green, but it's got so much dry dead stuff with it that it'll keep. We've done that a lot. Around here, there used to be a lot of wheat farmers that pasture their wheat through the winter, and then they would cut it off, bale the chaff out of the back of the combine, then they'd let that wheat stubble stand there. I think I'll see if I can shut this off. It's kind of risky. We're away from home and no ride, but those guys that let that wheat stubble stand there, and then they would bale the wheat stubble and it would grow up in crabgrass, and that made some really fine hay. These adjustments on this thing, where it will sit still. steering wheel. Wow, we're already 20 minutes long. This is probably going to be some really boring content for some people. But it's what we do. Bale a few bales and catch up with mint. I'll rake the corners out on this end of this and then go to that next little bitty piece over there. I don't know what this is gonna make. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty sure he tied one over there at 6. I bet there'll be 10 or 12 bales here maybe. I don't think he would try to sell this because it's so rough, and got a lot of other stuff in with it. It's the kind of hay you'll feed whenever there's snow on the ground, and you don't care if they bed in some of it. But right here, we're kind of in an area of confusion about cow hay. A lot of the hay you see on Craigslist right now in my area is going from $35 a bale up to, some people are asking $45 and $55. I seen $75 the other day, but I think that's just somebody who thinks they really have something, maybe, I don't know. And then you've got the other side of that is a bale of hay is a bale of hay to a lot of people, and there is a lot of difference in a bale of hay. Ours, we make them 5 by 5. I doubt if they weigh 1,000. If the hay's good and dry, they probably don't weigh 700 or 800 pounds. But then you see people that'll advertise that they can make 4 by 5s, and I believe they can. I know it's possible that you can make a 4 by 5 bale that'll weigh 1,200 pounds. But see, they don't advertise it always as a 4 by 5 bale. They advertise a bale of hay. And when you see a load of my hay coming down the road, it's going to look like we put everything on the trailer and it's hanging off every side that we can get it, you know. And then you see a load of that other stuff coming down the road that's 4 foot by 5 foot bales, or a lot of people even will make their bales a hair shorter than 5 foot. I like to make mine a little bit bigger than 5 foot. We actually have trouble trying to set 5 of them on Dad's 27 foot long trailer. They hang off really bad. So I like to make mine just a hair bigger, taller than 5 foot. That way you know, the stuff off the top and bottom that spoils or weathers that they don't eat, you still got a pretty good sized bale in the middle. Scott went and moved some 4 by 5 bales for a neighbor. I don't remember, last year, year before, probably the year before, with my pickup and the Krogman bale bed I've got on it, or the one I did have. And he said, never again. Those things were in a row when he went to pick them up, and you couldn't pick them up out of the row without them wanting to roll over and lay on their side. And he said, boy, I wouldn't want to have to feed any of them because you can't see the middle of the bale in the mirror on your truck, and it's just a royal mess, sound like to me. So I guess we'll stick by the with the 5 by 5s. And I'm not exactly saying if Scott ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, but it's something close to that. I can't see what you're seeing, so I'm just gonna aim you over there. Let you watch him tie another bale. Yeah, it's something else. We back up with every bale when we dump it out. And those things do take quite a lot of time, your time when you're baling. To be able to back up and stop like that, and the hydraulics on that tractor are really, really slow. They always have been. I think it's just got a smaller pump on it, or a lower gallon per minute pump. Scott actually got this little dab hay to bale over here because the guy just across the fence through that tree line right there gave him that over there, and we baled it earlier. Which part of it? It looked like it was growed up pretty good again. He had a little more time to work on it. He fertilized it and sprayed it. It was probably pretty decent hay. It didn't have all these weeds and stuff in it, briars. This old 1086 he's using now, I bought it in 2000. And right after I got it, I actually bought it at Miami, Oklahoma, and I drove it home. It has those cast rear weights that bolt onto the inside of the rear wheels, and they are enormous. I bet it adds, oh, I don't know, 1,000 pounds to each side maybe. And they're out around. So if you get on the road and going over 14, 15 miles an hour, it actually makes your tractor do kind of the bunny hop thing. It's pretty weird, but I have used that tractor to bale hay with, and we've done a lot of our bush hogging with it, spraying, and ever since 2001 it's been in the field with us. The first year I had the worst trouble with it, the first year that I've had with it, I bought it, and I think we baled about 20 bales with it or less, and the thing dropped a valve. And what happened was I heard it clank in the motor, and I slowed it down, listened to it a minute, and I shut it off thinking it was something that might be really, really bad, and it was. But I hadn't used the old thing a lot, so I wasn't really used to, all of the things that it does. And I went and got my dad where he was at, brought him down there, had him listen to it, and we was actually baling his hay behind his chicken farm. And he says, "You shut it off, shut it off." He said, "There's something in the top of that motor that has come apart. You need to take that apart and figure out what it is from there." And I'm like, well, okay, you know, this is great. I've paid a bunch of money for that tractor, probably more than what I had paid for all the other tractors I had at the time together. And now it's broke down in the motor, which is obviously pretty serious. I took it apart, and what I found was it had dropped a valve, and the valve had broke. And it usually, a lot of times a valve, it'll punch it through the top of the head, or it'll bust your piston or something like that. And this one, it broke the valve, and the head on the valve was laying in a fire crater on the piston and bouncing up and down in there, and that was what was making the noise. But it had hit the other valve and bent it, so the other valve was stuck open. And the stem for that valve was laying in the intake. And I really don't, it would have been a really tight fit for it to have even got up in there, you know, by the air passage on the side of that valve, but it did. And we pulled the head off. I had to buy a new head gasket set for it, and it had mashed the end of the injector in that cylinder. And I took her apart, I didn't take the head to a machine shop. I took and lapped the valve in with a drill. I changed both the valves in that piston, where bent one and one was broke. And I put the head back on it, and we have been using it ever since. And it does use a little bit of oil. You can see it blows some blue smoke, black smoke from time to time, but it blue smokes just a little bit all the time. But my Lord, it's got the right to. It's almost old enough to, well, it is old enough to vote and to buy alcohol or tobacco. I guess it's old enough to gamble. Well, air conditioner works. TA works. I didn't get no duals for it or nothing, but it does have dual mounts on the axle. Well, I guess we're on the go again here. That right there, friend, is rocks. We got a few of them around here. was hoping that was what this would do. Woo! I'd like to be able to tell you how to do that, you know, finish to where you're in the shade, but I don't know. It just works out that way.